seems like they're just watching. Are you trapped? Who will kill?
I'm next to you.
My name is Tyler. Alright guys, I'm in the cemetery and I'm walking towards the back of it. And when you look around, there is a lot of newer stones, but majority of them are the older ones that are pretty worn down and pretty much falling apart. Now, I don't know if you guys can see, but while I'm walking through the cemetery, this car here just pulled up and parked, and it seems like they're just watching. All right, I'm turning on the spirit box now, and let's see what comes through. My name is Tyler. Can you see me here in the cemetery? Let me start off by saying I mean you no harm. I mean you no disrespect. I just want to hear your story and if you have anything to say. Now guys, in my past few videos, every time I start off with the spirit box and I'm in one location, nothing comes through. So let's see now if I start wandering around, if it's going to start talking. I'm not here to vandalize anything or break anything. I just want to talk. I want to hear if you have anything to say. Maybe about your life. Maybe about what happened to you.
I'm here.
Alright, so Nightmare came through and now it's just silent. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna...
Patricia.
Patricia? Who's Patricia?
Or
Yeah, you could use this device to talk to me. This can be your voice. You can see me. Commits. You can see me now. You're aware that I'm here now. You can use this device to talk to me. My name is Tyler. Alright, so I'm going to start walking around the cemetery because I find when it begins to get quiet, that always helps. So let's see what happens.
Pamela.
Alright guys, so a bunch of things just came through. It said Pamela, remanded, and scribing. Literally back to back. I just hopped over the fence to leave and it just said, "You're not welcome." Are you stuck here? Are you trapped? Pamela was killed. Who's Pamela? How was she killed? Guys, it's so weird. Literally, as soon as I stepped over the fence onto the road, it started talking. So maybe there's something lurking within the cemetery that is not allowing them to communicate with me. Alright guys, so I just got in the car, and as I was getting in, the spirit box said 1910s. So was Pamela killed in the 1910s? Was Pamela executed?
Pamela is feeling adrift.
Pamela is feeling adrift. Who will kill?
I'm next to you.
Oh! You're next to me. Who's next to me? Guys, that is crazy. Now, there is supposed to be a church that was associated with this cemetery, and while I arrived, I didn't see it. So I'm gonna drive around a little bit and maybe see if I come across the church. And if I do, we'll set up and do a spirit box session there and see if anything wants to communicate with us there. But guys, I really want to know what happened to Pamela. Halfway through my investigation, the spirit box began to malfunction in a way I couldn't explain. The words came through, but they were distorted beyond recognition. Yet in the midst of this interference, something more terrifying began to surface. The messages carried an unmistakable sense of malevolent intent. Whatever lingered in the shadows of that place, it wasn't just present, it was trapped, condemned to wander forever. The air grew heavier, suffocating as if something ancient and vengeful had finally broken free to speak its truth. Alright guys, the cemetery that I'm at right now, I'm about 5 minutes from the cemetery that I visit in my last video. And for those of you that have seen that, when I was leaving, it brought up someone named Will. And right now it just said Will is here. Will is lost. So could Will just be lost wandering around in the afterlife? I'm gonna drive around and see if we could find that church that's associated with this cemetery. Feel free to guide me. All right guys, let's get on the road and let's see if we find this church.
Like the angles.
Now I pulled into a random driveway to adjust the camera, and as I was doing that, it came through and said like the angles. Now I'm still stopped in the driveway of the house that I pulled into, and tell me how the spirit box just came out and said I live here. But all right, let's get back on the road and see if we find this church.
Passenger. Barbara.
Who's Barbara? All right guys, so I think I'm coming up on the church right here to my left. Yeah, this has got to be the church. Check it out.
Left hand.
Guys, it just said left hand and I just turned left. Now I'm going to find somewhere to park here and we're going to make our way over to the church and conduct a spirit box session and see what happens. Guys, as I was getting out of the car, the spirit box is still on. And that Barbara that it mentioned earlier, apparently Barbara wants to choke me. All right, let's get set up outside the church. As I stepped onto the grounds of the church, an overwhelming sense of unease settled over me. Something about this place just felt off. Like the walls themselves were holding secrets they didn't want to share. Ignoring the instinct to turn back, while the wind whispered through the trees like a warning. Almost immediately, I felt it. Eyes were watching me. The hair on my neck stood on end, and I tried to shake the feeling, focusing on the spirit box, but the sensation only grew stronger. What I didn't realize, not yet anyway, was that I wasn't alone. Just as I was preparing to leave, a man appeared from the shadows. Stepping out of the church, there was something about him, something unsettling in his eyes. He introduced himself as the one who now lived in the church with his wife, but as he spoke, I couldn't shake the feeling that he knew more than he was letting on. I began to feel the air growing thicker around us, as if the church itself was holding its breath, waiting for something or someone.